Get Gutsy, episode number 168, Dealing with Critics. Welcome to Get Gutsy. I'm your host, Jenny Fennig, and I am so excited to be on this journey with you. A cutting-edge show blending business and spirituality, Get Gutsy serves up a potent blend of stories, lessons, and tips to help you make a massive impact in the world through your soul's work and your inspired life. No more going it alone, no more excuses. The world needs more brave women saying yes to leadership. Are you with me? Good. Let's get gutsy now. Welcome to our Jam with Jenny edition of Get Gutsy. This is a new element to the show that we are bringing out where every Friday we are publishing this Jam with Jenny on the podcast. On Wednesday of every week on my Facebook page, which is called Jenny Fennig, I am connecting with my tribe, with you live. So if you want to come hang with me on Facebook, come on over to my Facebook page. It's called Jenny Fennig, and every Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, I am talking to you about a topic that I know you are curious about, and I am there to serve you, take your questions, be with you, and really, hang out together and go on this journey that we are all on into the next level of your sacred work. And then what we do is we publish the episodes right here on my podcast each Friday. So if you prefer simply tuning into the podcast and listening to the audio, we got you covered. So I wanted to plug you into what this style of connecting is all about, and thank you for being on this Get Gutsy journey with me. It has been extraordinary. We are continuing to go deeper yet higher and saying yes to the leader that you truly are here to be. So without further ado, I introduce you to this fantastic episode of Get Gutsy. It is time to jam with Jenny. Enjoy. Hey everyone, Jenny here. Come on in. It is time for our Jam with Jenny. We doing it. Get myself situated. We doing it. I got my back to my original microphone. I tried using a different one last week and I thought it wasn't crackly, and then it was. So we're using just the good old iPhone earbuds. That's what we're using today. Come on in. We are talking about dealing with critics. This is something that we need to talk about because as you rise up and really commit to going deep with your sacred work, you're going to face critics. It's just part of the deal. It's what happens. And I want to discuss this with you so that you don't give up when the critics start showing up. You know what I'm saying? So we want to do it. Hey, everybody, when you're watching either live or you're watching the replay, say hi in the comments if you're watching here on Facebook. If you're listening to this on my podcast, what's up? So glad you're tuning in. However you're tuning in, wherever you're tuning in, say hi in the comments. Let me know you're here. And I want this to be a really juicy conversation, so let's get real with each other about this whole idea of critics, okay? So I have 5 tips for you today. 5 kind of lessons, gems for you to keep in mind as you do your thing out there in the world. Most of my audience are coaches, consultants, your authors, experts, spiritual teachers. You are here to serve your audience, typically using the gifts and expertise that the gifts that you were given and the expertise that you have acquired through the work you've been doing up until this point. And what I want you to know, kind of insight number 1, is the next level equals more critics. And it's okay. You can celebrate this. Now, what do I mean by this? When you reach a new level in your work, and you'll hear me talk a lot about levels, like I'm obsessed with this idea of levels. When you reach a new level in your work,
that is going to come with more critics. There's a saying that I heard many years ago, which is new level, new devil. New level, new devil. So when you reach a new level, when you get to that next kind of hook on the ladder, you're going to have new stuff to deal with. And that often translates into more critics. More people are going to be seeing you, seeing your work, seeing you getting out there. And so you're going to have more criticism coming your way. And you don't need to worry about this. You don't need to stay hidden or stay small because you're afraid of the critics. In fact, when you have more critics, you can celebrate that because it simply means that you're at a new level of your work. Remember, you're doing your work for yourself and for your people who are going to be served by it, your fans, essentially. That's who your work is for. Imagine, Lady Gaga was trying to please those who hate Lady Gaga, okay? What would be the point of that? Lady Gaga is doing her thing. She's creating her art. And then you have those fans out there who are like diehard. I forget what they're called, like the Lady Gaga fans. But they just adore her. They adore her work. They're so appreciative of her work. And if she was doing her work trying to please those who hate her, who can't appreciate what she does, that would be a waste. That would be a waste of energy, waste of time, waste of talent. And so I want you to understand that your next level equals more critics, and you don't need to worry about them. You simply need to get out there and do your thing. And when you have kind of fresh criticism come your way, just say, oh, wow, I'm at a new level. The new level is here. The next level is here. And I'm going to give a shout out to everybody who's here live right now. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Ruth. Hey, Helen. Hey, Karen. Great to see you. Anybody else who's tuning in right now, say hi in the comments. And then I know that you're here. All right. So I had this happen yesterday where I, this kind of, it was like I would say it was a critical question, if you will, came to me, and it happened on Instagram. And instead of being like hurt by it, like, oh my gosh, this person, disagrees with my point of view, or, I don't think she likes me and I need to be sad about that. I just really said, oh, a new level is here. Awesome. And that was that. Okay. So next level equals more critics, new level, new devil. It's okay. Celebrate, because we are here to rise to new levels, because when we're at new levels, it's fresh challenges. We have more people we can help. We're going to kind of new areas with the work that we're here to share, which can feel very exciting. It also can feel vulnerable and a bit scary, but I can tell you, as a former video gamer, it was exciting to achieve the next level of a game. And hi, Evelyn, great to see you. Say yes in the comments, or throw over some emojis if you also were a video gamer back in the day. I don't play video games any longer, but when I was in elementary school and middle school, I was a big Nintendo gamer. Do I have any former Nintendo gamers here? Maybe you're still a Nintendo gamer. I know there's like new games now. I don't play any games on my phone. People send me invitations to do like Candy Crush, whatever the other things are. I'm like, I just ignore those things. I ain't got time for those games anymore. But when I was young, gamer. Big time gamer. I was Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda. Those were my two games. And I was fucking good at those games. I was good at those games. I took those games seriously. I played them quite a bit. And I also subscribed to Nintendo Power Magazine. Anybody else subscribe to Nintendo Power Magazine? That gave me a lot of tips and pointers. And it's like what I'm doing for you right now. Like, I am your Nintendo Power Magazine. And those who join in my programs, like Shayna, who's here right now, is in my mastermind Glow. Karen and Helen, who are tuning in right now, are in my coaching school, Get Gutsy Coach Training School. So when you invest to work with me very deeply, then I'm like your Nintendo Power Magazine. You know what I'm saying? And my aim with my live streams and my podcasts and the content I put out is to give you pieces of like a Nintendo Power Magazine article. Is that a good analogy or what? Hi, Lorena. Hi, Carrie. Great to see you. All right, so tip number 2. Know the difference between the inner critic and the inner voice. Okay. We all have the voice inside of us that talks, right? I'm not alone in that, am I? I know I'm not alone because I talk to a lot of people about this, and this is what my work focuses on. If you read my book, Get Gutsy, you know that I talk about the inner voice and the inner critic. If you have not read my book, go read it. You can get it on Amazon, okay? It's called Get Gutsy. It's the name of my podcast too, and so much of my work is around this umbrella of getting gutsy. So there is this thing, these things inside of us, the inner critic and the inner voice, and you need to understand the difference, all right? So the inner critic is just like it sounds, very critical, mean, sometimes brutal, dangerous. The inner critic says things to you like, don't do that. I mean, that's just really not going to turn out well. I don't know why you would put yourself in that situation. You should just stay where you are. I know that you're not totally happy, but like, just be grateful. The inner critic says that in essence, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not talented enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not, your body doesn't look right. If you do this, they're all going to laugh at you. This would be a mistake. And the inner critic basically wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you really safe and in a sense, keep you small, keep you trapped in this little corner, even though there's a larger piece of you that wants to break free. Okay? The inner voice is that benevolent messenger inside of you that says, you're smart. You're talented. You can do this. You've got this. This is what you have been waiting for. This is the opportunity. Now it's time to take that next step. All right. And as you get out there more deeply and doing your sacred work, you are going to hear the inner critic getting louder, getting louder. I have heard many women who find me and then they realize, oh my gosh, Jenny, I want to work with you closely. I want to be in one of your programs. And they, the process they have to go through to get to that other side, click the button, apply for something, sign up for something, pay for something. For many of them, it's like a really challenging process to make it to that other side because the inner critic starts getting really fucking loud, really loud. Saying that don't do it. What if you don't like it? What if everyone in the group is weird? What if? Like, raise your hand if you deal with the what ifs. If that what if ticker tape parade starts throwing a party in your head when you're ready to make a decision, when you're ready to make a move, okay? The what if gets cray up in there. What if? And that's the inner critic. That's the inner critic. What is helpful here is that you spend time out in nature. You journal. I'll give you some more tips around this too, but you really get quiet. You tune out the external. You tune out this noise. You tune out being around some of that low vibe energy that kind of what that is. If you tend to stress eat, like eat a lot of sugar or drink a lot of alcohol or whatever it is to kind of numb the sensations that you're having because you're realizing oh my gosh, you're about to grow. You've got to make really wise choices here. Okay. And great to see you here. Hilda in the house and Jess, hooray. Yeah. So Carrie says she hates the what ifs. Exactly. The only way you're ever really going to know if you want to do something is just get out there and do it. And, I have, again, a lot of women who are tuning in right now who are in one of my programs. They've been through some of my programs before. And I take, my work really seriously. And we really aim to create beautiful experiences for those who step forward. And, the thing that you're going to have to get great at is dealing with the what if. And one of my tips, I'll wait to share that with you, in terms of who you're talking to when you're in the midst of making decisions, okay? So again, if you want more insight in the inner critic versus the inner voice, definitely read my book. And this is something we very much dive into in my coaching school, Get Gutsy Coach Training School. We have just opened early bird enrollment for our coaching school, and I'm really freaking pumped about it. But we talk about that because guess what? You're not the only one who deals with critics, who deals with the inner critic and then trying to sift out like, where is the inner voice in this whole game? And so we focus on that in our coaching school, and we help you learn how to help your clients move through this, because this is one of the greatest gifts you can bring to your clients, is you being the coach, is that you can really sit with them and help them see what their inner critic really is, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it says to them. We have a whole process where we help our clients redefine the inner critic. I did this several years ago, and I realized that my inner critic presents itself in the form of a hammer, And my inner critic, when I was going through this exercise, way back when I was training to become a coach, I realized that my inner critic wanted to just keep me small. It's like, remember that game at an arcade where like you have that mallet and you're like trying to knock down like the moles, right? The gophers. And it was like whack-a-mole. And that was really what my inner critic was doing. It was like, no, stay down, stay small. Don't let anybody see you. Don't let anybody hear you. Just stay down. And that inner critic was like smashing my dreams. It was smashing my visions. It was just smashing all of it. And when I redefined it and really kind of understood what it was and where it came from, I was able to reassign, instead of that hammer like smashing my dreams and keeping me small, I said, you know what? I'm building this mission. I am building this movement. I am building this business. I am building this family. I'm building like this life, this glorious life. And I'm going to need helpers as I build. And instead of this hammer smashing things, this hammer is going to help me build. And so that was a way that I redefined the inner critic. And it's definitely something that we help our students do who come into Get Gutsy Coach Training School, which I'm just so freaking pumped. We already have so many amazing new students who are in our next class, which starts in January. I'm going to tell you how you can apply for a spot too. All right. Tip number three is to, and this is how to deal with critics, is to tell the truth. Tell the truth. And you're going to do this with wisdom around telling the truth. So the way that this is a really cool one. A lot of times the critics come from within, right? And you can really speak to that critic. Like with me, if I have that voice coming on being like, I don't know if you can do this, Jenny, you shouldn't even reach out to those people. They're not going to respond to you. They're not going to say yes. They're all just going to be like laughing at you when they get your invitation, when they hear your message. I can simply talk to that inner critic and say, thank you so much for chiming in. I'm confident that this message is very powerful, and it will get into the right hands, and my job is to simply put it out there. What I'd rather you do today, Hammer, is to help me build, is to give me the courage and the confidence to get out there and send this message. And so it's like, again, just redirect. Now that is how I can talk to the voice inside, right? What happens when you literally have external critics who are coming at you, who are saying things to you? Now, I was just given this tip. Who here knows and loves Danielle Laporte? A lot of you know of her. Actually, it's funny, when I do these live streams, I have a lot of her books because I helped her during her book launch this year, and I got a lot of books out of this, and I stack my computer up on her book when I'm doing these live streams. So I have like 5 white hot truths under my computer right now. That's how my computer is high enough to have a good angle for me to talk to you. So Danielle Laporte is one of our guest teachers in Get Gutsy Coach Training School, and I was on a call with her recently, and it was a group of us and her, really cool, like women who are my peers, and we just able to talk about like real stuff. And we asked her how she deals with, like criticism, and when people are kind of saying really mean things or trying to pull us down as we get out there and do our work on greater levels. And, she was really spot on with her insight and her guidance. And she said, when somebody says something to you, or like, gets to you, like they send an email or a Facebook post or whatever, allow yourself to feel your feelings around that. allow yourself to like really get angry, really get pissed. Because sometimes the stuff is you're just like, what? And sometimes it comes from people you're like, oh my gosh, like I thought they were a friend. I thought they were a student of my work. I thought they were, whatever. I thought, or maybe it's just some random stranger out of left field and you're like, whoa. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt you, because oftentimes it really will hurt you, because they've like pushed a button. They've gotten you at a really like at a sore place in your body or in your heart. And what Danielle said, which I thought was so wise, was allow yourself to like write out a letter, just like write it out, and pen to paper. You could type it too if you want. And maybe you could speak it like into an audio memo or something like that. But the key is you're not sending it to this person, okay? But you can simply just tell the truth. Be like, you know what? That's fucking bullshit. You don't know me. You do not have the right to say those things to me. This, whatever it is that you need to get off your chest, you're going to get off your chest. And you're going to, write it pen to paper in your journal, or just like on a blank piece of paper. I'd actually put it on a blank piece of paper. You can put it in a document on your computer, again, just like the voice memo app on your phone, and just like let it simmer. You just like put it out there, but don't send it to the person. Don't send it to the person. Before you go to bed that night, delete the document from your computer, rip up the piece of paper, burn it if you want to, delete the voice memo from your phone, just extinguish it. And that is about you telling the truth and being smart about it. And her whole insight to us was, don't engage with this person. Often these people, especially when they're quote strangers, they sound very intelligent, honestly, and you're like, maybe I could just like talk to them and like reason with them and stuff. And you can't. You're not going to change their mind. So there's no point in you wasting energy around that, but it's to simply know that you're allowed to feel your feelings around that. Get it out. Don't pretend like, oh, that doesn't bother me. When it does, sometimes like really bothers you. So you get it out and then delete it, let it go before the end of that day. Okay. So that's telling the truth with wisdom and feeling your feelings. Fourth tip, and great to see you here, Dana and Tracy. Awesome. The fourth tip, be mindful who you share your dreams with. Okay. This is critical. Be mindful who you share your dreams with. Now, I know we have a lot of people here, and a lot of them are in my coaching school now, or they've gone through, or they're in my mastermind. They're like, students of my work, clients of my work. And, we're out there doing this thing, right? Like we're making moves. We're the rebels. We're the mavericks. Am I right? Like send over some love if you consider yourself a rebel. And most of the world, they're not rebels. Most go with the status quo. They're getting in line. They're doing quote what the majority does, and not trying to like ruffle feathers and not trying to stand out. They're just trying to fit in. Okay. And if you're going to go share your dream that you're going to be a coach and you're going to write a book and you're going to start a podcast and you're going to maybe lead a workshop or start a whole workshop series next year, you're going to have a retreat next year, you're going to be doing Facebook Lives, and eventually you're going to, quit your job, or you're going to, kind of redefine what your career looks like. And maybe you're going to move, because like me, I moved from New York City to where I live now, the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts. And I did that when my coaching business was in its infancy. It was very young. And, if I were to share that with the wrong people, that would have just really gotten in my way. That would have activated the inner critic even more so in my head, because the inner critic is always waiting for confirmation that you're making a mistake, And so if I go share my big dreams with my super risk averse friend or family member, they're going to feel their own anxiety around change or around putting themselves out there, and they're going to put that on you. You see what I'm saying? So you can't do that. That's not wise. A saying that I remind myself of, you can't get water from a stone. So if you're trying to get like validation or encouragement from people who just can't encourage you, because maybe they're even triggered by you, maybe they're even kind of jealous of you or a lot jealous of you, and you're telling them your dreams, and they're thinking of how this is going to shift your own relationship, you're not going to get what you need from them, which makes it so important to be in a community of fellow rebels, fellow soul sisters on the journey who are like, yes, do that. Yes, I love it. Yes, how can I support you? Oh my gosh, so excited. Yes, it's happened for me. That's why I have the programs that I do. And that's certainly why I created my coaching school, which is Get Gutsy Coach Training School, because that's what that world is like. You know, we have our own little ecosystem that we support each other and we share what's up as we rise up as coaches. My community is for spiritual coaches who want to make a difference and a great living. So I want to give you the link, and I'm going to tell you the fifth tip in a moment, but I want you to go check it out. Again, we have a lot of our graduates tuning in right now, some of our students who are going to be in our January 2018 class. And if this is calling out to you, if you're like, I'm ready, you're a new coach, you're an aspiring coach, and you just want that, you want that next level to be opened up for you, you need to be in a community of fellow go-getters, of fellow action takers, and you need to have a guide showing you the way, especially when you're newer. You can't figure this out by yourself. You need to have a guide, and I am your guide. I am a seasoned guide. I didn't just get here last year. I've been here for 10 years, and I know what's up. I know what's up. I've seen how this industry has shifted. I see what's coming next. I have a community of peers who are at like the cutting edge of this coaching industry, and I'm able to guide you to the best of my ability. So great to see you here, Kim. Thanks for spreading the word to your friend Courtney. Go to coachtrainingschool.com. I'm going to type the link in here. Y'all, we are in early bird enrollment right now, which means when you come in, you are going to save $500 on your tuition. This expires this Friday, December 8th. This Friday, December 8th, a $500 savings goes away. And so I want you to come in and see what we have for you. It's a 4-month adventure. We just give you what you need to take your coaching work to that next level, and not only be a confident coach, but also to be a smart marketer and a really, really wise entrepreneur, which you need to be all three of those things. All right. So coachtrainingschool.com. If you have questions about that, whether you're watching live or you're watching this by replay, comment below and I will come and answer your questions. Okay. We are happy to support you in making this decision. Once you choose your payment option, you'll be able to then fill out an application. We do fill by application, and I want to ensure that you're a right fit for our school and our school's a right fit for you. It's really important to me. We have a beautiful high vibe energy in our group. I really get to know you. This isn't a program where we're trying to get like hundreds of people in with every class. It's what I call a boutique offering, high vibe, high touch, and high end. It's a beautiful experience, and it includes a 2-day retreat at my home, which I live in this beautiful spot in the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts. So you aren't going to find a program like this on the market. You're just not. And it would be my honor to serve you. So coachtrainingschool.com. And if you are a current student or a graduate, just say that in the comments. Be like, yes, I went through it. I want to kind of show our people the community that we have and just how far our range stretches. Like we have students from all over the world who come into our school. So we just covered tip number 4, which is be mindful who you share your dreams with, okay? And wow, I mean, that's a crux of coaching. And that's why it's the power of having a coach too. Your coach is like so supportive of you. Just today I was leaving, I have a Voxer relationship. Voxer is a tool that you can use with your clients, and those who are in my mastermind and come at the highest level, at our elite level, they have Voxer access to me, which means it's like kind of this like, you know, super close connection to me where I can leave them audio messages, kind of just like tell them like, you're doing great, you're doing awesome. Like we have a Facebook group for that too. But those who work with me at a high level get one-on-one access to me. And I was just leaving Voxer messages for a few of my elite level clients today, just, you know, showing them that I see you, I feel you, I hear you, know what's up, and giving them pointers on how to keep moving to their next level, okay? Which is the power of coaching. And y'all, the world needs more coaches, and we need more women stepping into their power. Who saw the Time Person of the Year? Who has seen that? I got to get this, I want to get the physical magazine too, because I'm so pumped that this is the person of the year. The Time Person of the Year, it's a collective. The Silence Breakers. The Silence Breakers. This year has been huge for women. Coming out, #MeToo. The patriarchy is crumbling. Women are being asked to rise up and lead. And y'all, as coaches, as female coaches, there has never been a better time to do this work. We are being able to say these things that we've been wanting to say, that in past lives we would have been burned at the stake for saying these things and for standing in this power. And now we are being celebrated. Time Person of the Year, the Silence Breakers. We're being believed. We are being asked to rise up. And this is your time. It's like the portal has opened. Step forward. And that's exactly what my coaching school allows you to do. And I created this in April of 2015 I was creating it for years, really, but I launched it in April of 2015. Our first students started going to school in April 2015. And wow, I didn't know we'd be here right now in December of 2017. And I am so thrilled and honored to be able to provide a sacred container for women like you to step forward and get served, so that you can then go serve your communities all over the world. Coaches can work all over the world, which is so awesome. So the fifth and final tip I'm going to share with you today on dealing with critics is, this is probably my favorite one. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. So the thing that you're most afraid of is the thing that you've got to do. Sorry, not sorry. The thing that you're most afraid of is the thing that you must do. My mug says it all. Get gutsy. Get gutsy. The thing that you're most afraid of, P.S. everybody coming into this next class, you're going to get one of these mugs. Some people are like, we're going to get a mug. I'm like, you're going to get one. Okay. We give them out at our retreat. And even if you can't come to the retreat, we'll live stream snippets of it, pieces of it. We'll send you one of these babies in the mail, okay? And you're going to like it. You're going to like drinking your drink of choice in here. I have my tea in here. Most mornings I'm using this mug. So the only way out is through. The only way out is through. You're afraid to take that next step? You got to take that next step. You got to take it. And guess what? Your propensity, your willingness to do this will predict the type of clients you attract in. So if you're not ever willing to make a move, if you're not ever willing to kind of go out on that limb and be like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to fly? You're going to attract clients who are wimps. Do you really want to work with wimpy clients? Do you want to work with clients who don't ever make moves, who don't ever take a chance, who just sit there and think about doing something for their whole lives? You want to work with clients who make moves. You want to work with courageous people who look fear in the face and take that next step. That is what you have to do. And so the only way out is through. If you've got that inner critic inside being like, don't do it, they're all going to laugh at you. Oh my gosh, just stay small. Don't make that change. Just don't make that change. You've got to work through that resistance and make that move. The only way that voice inside of you that says, if it's you considering becoming a coach or you're already a coach, but you're like, I need help getting it to that next level. I need a new community. I really want, if you vibe on what I bring to the table, you want to work with me, but you're scared, because, making a move, especially, to be in our coaching school, it's an investment of time, money, and energy. And that inner critic that is going to say to you, you don't have time. You don't, the money might scare you. And you've got to really move through that and say, okay, if I don't make that change now, is the path I'm on sustainable? Is what I'm doing right now working? Because if it's not working, it's not just all of a sudden going to start working. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. You must be willing to work through that resistance. And this is where working with a coach can be so helpful, because the coach can help you do that. All right. A community of supporters can help you do that. And I will share, in our coaching school, we do have a peer coaching element. We hook you up with a peer coach and a peer client. which our students say is like one of their favorite parts of our whole program. And so during the time that you're in our school, you're going to be coaching and being coached. And even if you're already doing some coaching now, this will help you get stronger, because the more practice you have, the better. I can't tell you the number of coaching hours I have. Over the last 10 years, I coached a lot of people, and I am a really, really strong coach. Like really strong coach. And it's because I've been willing to just get out there and do it. You can't wait for a better time. Y'all, there has never been a better time than right now. And so the only way out is through. All right, so I've just shared with you today 5 tips for dealing with those critics. It has been amazing connecting with you today. So awesome to see you here. Everybody, Jen, I know you just got here. I love being able to do this work. You're going to hear me talk a lot about coaching this month especially. You're going to hear me talk a lot about Get Gutsy Coach Training School. Again, if you want to step forward and you're watching this now, step forward by this Friday if you want to save $500. This Friday, December 8th, the $500 savings goes away. So you can go to coachtrainingschool.com, check it out. Again, any questions, just post them here. I love being able to have these dialogues with you. We've been doing this for the last few weeks on Wednesdays, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Heads up, next week on my podcast, and it will also be on my website, jennyfenig.com, we're going to be having Gutsy Coach Week. Gutsy Coach Week is when we're featuring voices of coaches. Some of my Gutsy Coach Week coaches are here right now tuning in. We're going to have a lot of podcast episodes for you. Some of them are students. They've gone through coach training school. Others are colleagues of mine who have created, really successful coaching businesses, and they have some words of wisdom to share with you. You're going to have a lot of different perspectives that are shared next week during Gutsy Coach Week. So make sure you tune into my podcast, which is called Get Gutsy. You're going to get just fired up. So I think that's something what we do really well as women, is that we share our stories and we share our lessons learned. So listen to that and really know that, if I can do this, you can do this. If the women who you hear from next week during Gutsy Coach Week can make decisions, can make moves that scare you right now, you can do it too. You simply need to decide. You need to decide and go for it. Get off the fence. I just shared this with a client yesterday. I was doing a private call with her. I was like, girl, decide and go for it. Nothing's going to change by you just thinking about it. You got to decide and go for it. And that's one of the best ways to deal with critics too. That's like a bonus tip for you. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I love you all. This is Jenny Fennig sending you so much love, light, and faith as you get gutsy. I will see you next time.